Hi, I'm Milton Rendell and welcome to Real News Friday. Another big week, over 1,000 sales, in fact 1,047 sales in West Australia, down about 1% on the previous week. Stock levels are up about 1.6%, up to 9,214, so that's still at a good figure. Down still on 10% of where it was 12 months ago, but we are up about 6% of what we were 4 weeks ago. Now, in recent weeks, I've been talking about people who had their properties probably for rent for the last few years, now starting to bring their properties to market. We are seeing more and more of that every day. In fact, we're doing quite a few appraisals and speaking to other agents in other areas. They're experiencing exactly the same. Now, this creates two situations. The first one will be it may decrease the amount of rentals in the marketplace, which is obviously going to make that problem bigger in 2022. But the other thing is it will help replenish some of the stock that we're desperately looking for to make the sales. Now, in terms of sales, we are getting quite an array of inquiry from as far as and we've had overseas inquiry. We're getting inquiry from Melbourne and Sydney and even Queensland, and it's been quite different. I think also today we even had an inquiry from South Australia. So people are exploring outside of their states and looking for their returns. So WA is still seen as reasonable probably for returns, particularly through this corridor. People are seeing probably properties that would be positive geared because interest rates are still low. I imagine there are quite a few people sitting down looking and saying, hey, look, interest rates are fairly low, and I'll just use these figures as an example. This is not exactly the marketplace, but let's say imagine you're borrowing at 2% and the rent returns are 4%. You're in a positive cash flow situation, which is ideal if you're an investor, and hopefully equity growth is happening at the same time. We are seeing increase in equity around the Midland area, but we're also again seeing increased activity, some of the highest activity I've seen since probably 2014, which is really, really encouraging. But our equity situation is still on the increase. We're still not quite to where we were during the previous boom, but it certainly is in a better position. The Hills officers, been speaking to them, a lot of activity through the Hills, hearing a lot of activity up at our Chidlow office. Speaking to Mike and the team in the commercial industrial. Mike is probably the busiest he's seen for quite a number of years, and I know that the Bakers Hill office has been quite busy as well. But overall, we're experiencing some of the better inquiry rates that we haven't seen for a long, long time. It seems to be steady and consistent. I'll give you an example also. We have a property in Helena Valley which we're going to open this weekend. We've already in the first week had over 50 inquiries, and we're expecting 40 plus people to attend the open this coming Sunday. So that'll be an interesting one. One would expect we would get an offer, but we are seeing some of the highest volumes of sales for some time. The marketplace still has plenty of growth in it. We just don't know what sort of levels. I think we may see a small pause over Christmas this year. I think it's been a pretty exhausting year for a lot of people. Again, we need to see where the government takes us in terms of where the borders are open and when they're open. That's a dynamic that we'll either see around Christmas or maybe March next year. We're just not too sure yet. I don't think the government knows, but we won't get into that subject. There's a fair few things happening out there. Now, this week also was the launch of our new marketing campaign, Your Special Agent. You will see a terrific billboard of a bunch of very attractive people on where the toll bridge is, or the weighbridge, I should say. The weighbridge is in what most people in my time would have called West Midland. Today they call it Woodbridge, still West Midland, but a great way to greet you as you come in Midland, those terrific guys on the billboard, and you'll certainly see a bit of that on our social media as well. But just clicking into the vibe around the James Bond movies, you can well appreciate. But look, we think our guys are pretty special, and we believe we deliver a great service. So only one way to find out is give us a call, and hopefully we can help you. In terms of property management, I did speak about that before. We are seeing certainly still an increase in rents in certain areas. I still encourage landlords to consider your rents, even if you just put them up a slight bit to make sure that you're planning for the future. Because things called maintenance. I'm constantly having this discussion with landlords in recent times about budgeting for the future, and part of budgeting for the future is ensuring that your rents is keeping up with the marketplace. People say, oh, well, I've had this tenant for a long time. Yeah, we understand that, but you also want to make sure that you're maintaining the property at the right level for your tenant in the future as well, and that costs money. So you can't bear it all. I think, in fairness, that the tenant should be contributing to that future cost as well, with adjusted rents. But that's something for you to consider. But if you've got any other questions on where the marketplace is, or what the values of your property, or if you're thinking about renting, or whatever you may be thinking about in real estate, whether it's settlements or finance, just jump on our website or give our office a call, and we'll happily help you. All the best. Have a great weekend, and look forward to speaking to you again next week.